Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be introducing the teams facing off in the For Honor PAX West Gauntlet. First up, we've got Team Knight. Please welcome to the stage Carnage, Gassy Mexican, Lol Renene, and Tangent Gaming. That is Team Knight. Facing off against Team Knight will be Team Samurai, featuring Cobalt Streak and Munition, Man vs. Game, and Fairlight Excalibur. All right, folks. Now that you see the teams arrayed, I want to get a sense for where the crowd's loyalty lies, both here and online. So let's hear a big shout for those who will be supporting Team Knight. And now let's hear from the folks online and here in the PAX West Arena who will be cheering for Team Samurai. All right, looks like these teams have quite a rowdy crowd behind them. Got your work cut out for you, Team Knight, coming in as maybe the crowd underdogs, but why don't y'all take a seat, and I'm gonna talk with the team captains here before we get kicked off. All right, first off, I'm gonna talk with Tangent Gaming here, captain of the Knights. Tangent, talk to us a little bit about your For Honor experience and how you're planning to lead your team to victory.
Well, got about 30 hours in the alpha so far. Basically, we're going to not tell you guys how we're going to win the game.
I like it. Playing it cagey, keeping it under wraps. Fairlight Excalibur, you yourself, I think are one of the most experienced For Honor players here. How do you think that experience is going to help your team out?
I trained 1,000 years in a mountain dojo for this moment. I was born to play this game, and you don't pick a sword fight with a guy whose last name is Excalibur.
He talks a good game, folks. We're going to see how that plays out in the battlefield itself. Why don't you guys go ahead, have a seat, get set up with your teams, and we'll get ready to go here in just a minute. All right, as the teams get set up, Jeff and I are going to set up our caster station here, and the action will begin shortly. Jeff, we've got Knights. We've got Samurai. I think one of the most important things to clarify, first off, is the Samurai aren't all choosing Samurai. The Knights aren't all choosing Knights. In For Honor multiplayer matches, you're free to choose heroes from any faction.
That is correct. We wanted you to allow you guys to choose who you wanted to embody on the battlefield. Heroes just aren't tied to factions or play styles. Each hero is unique in his own right, and we didn't want to limit anyone from really showing who they were in the heat of the battle.
All right, so we'll see who chooses which heroes here in the first of our best of 5 match. We'll get started shortly. Now, Jeff, when you sit down, when a team is sort of coming together to play, what do you think is right out of the gate, the most important beat for them to hit strategy-wise? What do they need to be all on the same page about?
It's exactly that. They need to be on the same page. Communication is key, man. Whether you have a strategy going into the battle, that can all be thrown to the wind within a matter of seconds. It's all about tactics, and the key to tactics are communication. Live updates with your teammates. Even when you're dead, we provide a spectator cam that allows you to pan the battlefield and provide feedback to your team as to where the threats are. It's all about prioritizing threats and leveraging your opportunities during the battle.
All right, here we've got the attackers and defenders all lined up here, ready to go. Saw a Viking Raider in the mix there, and we are going to see them playing on Overwatch.
Yep, so Overwatch is one of our Samurai maps. It's based in the Mire. That is a home region of the Samurai. One of the first things you'll notice is the overall feel and architecture of the map is unique to the Samurais.
All right, now we're going to be getting a good look at this map here in just a second. Those capture points, A, B, and C, as we saw in the Dominion overview, B is the one where the melee is happening, where all the enemy foot soldiers are in the mix. Do you go there first? Do you try to get on the wings? What do you like to do?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, B, or the front, is more about not just capturing the zone, but pushing through to the threshold. So it could very well be their first priority, but this map has a unique setup where point A provides a high ground and an overview of the map.
All right, we are on board with the blue team here. The blue team is, we know
The blue team are the defenders, so they're the ones who are trying to hold their sanctuary and oppress the attacking team.
So for our purposes here, that's Team Knight in the blue, and they've come out early capturing C. But here we see the front. The battle's happening there.
Yep, so you mentioned the front. Key to the front is a type of hero that you choose to go into battle with. There you see it. So certain heroes have a preference due to their range and their weapon to be in the front. You know, it's like fighting a lot of little soldiers. One-on-one, they won't do much, but a group of 10 one-year-olds can really do some damage after a while.
All right, it looks like this Raider knows a thing or two.
So here we have a 2-on-1, but those of you may have noticed that there's environmental hazards that you can use to your advantage to try to help yourself in an outnumbered situation.
Just ran by one of my favorites there, the spike wall.
So there's an example of the Raider stun. What that does is it takes almost all of the HUD or the UI off of your opponent's screen, making it harder for them to read which direction you're going to be attacking from. Here you can see another example of the environment being a threat. In this specific zone, the trapdoor is open throughout the battle, making it more and more dangerous to be in this zone. But at the same time, we want you to be there for points.
We had quite a fight there, and now the Raiders just popped the revenge.
So there we see the importance of the execution. That enemy can no longer be revived and has to wait out the respawn time, putting his team at a disadvantage.
Team Knight with a staunch defense of point C, but Team Samurai with the point lead currently.
Yeah, so right now, all three capture zones are in play. As you can see, there's only about 100 points difference. One of the keys to being a hero is that all-out offense often isn't the best way to proceed. Sometimes defense can be your best key to a productive offense.
Ooh, there's that spike wall.
Yeah, so somebody was taken into the spikes by a heavy attack. You really have to be aware of your surroundings.
That was a nice kill by defender number 4.
So here we can see one of the defenders, a Raider, going to capture point A. Point A only has 2 paths to which it can be approached, both of the bridges, and it also gives you the high ground to assess the front and the status of Zone C, giving updates and feedback to your teammate throughout the match. So as you can see, Team Samurai still have about 150 point buffer, but that can easily change when 1 or 2 capture zones come into play.
And there we see it happen right now. The capture zone switches, and now Team Knight has a slight point advantage, holding down 2 points.
Yeah, so we have 2 capture zones fully controlled with point C in flux. So communication on both sides should be to support friendlies at C, but there it goes back to the attacker.
There we see Fairlight Excalibur, man versus game, and munition, and Cobalt Streak on Team Samurai, currently trailing. And we've got a hot pursuit in action.
Yeah, that happens often, and that's a key to melee-based combat. It's all about range, reading spaces in the environment, and taking advantage of your character, not just their weapons, but their movement ability. Dodging, evading, blocking, and attacking.
Nice kill there by Team Samurai and munition.
So here is a spectator cam. This player can move around the map and give feedback to their team while they're waiting to respawn.
Ooh, Gassy Mexican with a nice throw there.
If Gassy Mexican was smart, he'd get closer to the fire and try to use the environment to his advantage. Fire, spikes, drops, anything in the game world that looks dangerous, for the most part it is. So another thing that I wanted to point out, you'll see in the bottom left hand of the screen right now with this raider in particular, we've got a skull with soldiers in front of it. This is a feat, and you gain feats by increasing your renown, by doing certain play styles and certain elements during a match. So right now this raider gets double the reward for killing soldiers. That puts the emphasis on going to the front and taking advantage of the feat and the character loadout.
We saw one of those feats in the Dominion breakdown video we watched earlier, and now a lopsided fight does not go Team Samurai's way, and a brutal decapitation by Team Knight.
So we had almost all 4 of the defenders in the lane, in the front, clearing it out, and now they've got pretty much all 3 points. So they're 170 points away from putting the attackers in a break. So as you can see with the Raiders' unbridled rage, he's got no concern about defense. He's on the all-out offense, swinging that axe and taking fools down.
And the blue team very close to pushing over that 1,000 point barrier and pushing the orange team into breaking.
So here we can see that the attackers have left A uncontested, meaning it's an easy capture for the defenders, and then they can move. Oh, spoke a little too soon. So here we see a 2-on-1 fight. This is where space and environment gets key. A lot of our community feedback was, hey, it's really hard for us to work in an outnumbered environment, and as you can see there, it is easy to be killed, but we've been working really hard to implement features to support outnumbered fights. We'll talk about those in the preceding matches.
There are some ways to tip the scales, but then there are also sometimes you end up with a sword in your shoulder blade.
So here we have Zone A being boosted. Not only do they have 100 points from it, they tick over an extra 2 points a second to stay with their team and help them meet the 1,000 point threshold to push the enemies into breaking.
That was Tangent Gaming holding down that elevated point over there. Now we'll switch back over and see a nice kill there by Team Knight and Co-Carnage.
So here you'll see the feedback on screen. That cross meant if there wasn't a threat to the attacker, they could stop and revive a friendly, bring them right back into battle, and skip the respawn line.
Could have used another buddy right about then, but he's making his escape.
They're never there when you need them, eh? So you can see here, everything revolves around the art of battle. That is the stance in which your hero is in. It depicts where you block and where you attack. But here we have our first round of breaking.
And Team Samurai pushing back to capture that point.
The attackers need to be smart here. If they lose capture zone C, all of the attackers will respawn. However, none of them are dead, so it's not a risk at this time.
We just caught a glimpse there of this big battering ram that's on the field starting to swing. Really just adding to the whole ambiance of this battle.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. It's based around a siege, and a siege isn't just killing the enemy forces or opposing forces. It's about breaching their sanctuary, their place of safety.
Got a fierce 2-on-2 here.
So this is where collaboration is key. You go 2-on-1 and get attacked from behind. So here we have double breaking. Both teams are above the 1,000 point threshold. And now we can see it's a 4-on-2. If the defenders can hold all their zones and finish out the last 2 attackers, this match will be theirs to win. So now it's an all-out manhunt.
Is that the last remaining member of Team Samurai running around there?
Oh, he's gonna go.
Going for the revive!
So this is where communication is key. All 4 of them chasing the target isn't a good idea. You got to think about the setup and the space and find a way to cut them off and really get them in the corner. There you go. Here comes some strategy. Obviously, we're going for the revive here. You can see some panic faces behind us, some shouting.
Looks like that's Lil Renene frantically trying to stay alive. She's got the entirety of the enemy team after her.
And there you have it.
All right, nice round of applause there for the victors, Team Knight, or was it Team Samurai?
It was the Defenders.
It was the Defenders.
Team Samurai.
All right, raise your hands, team. Well, you guys won, didn't you? Yeah, you did. All right, I'm going to talk to you in a second. Folks, quick reminder, if you want to get in on this action, you still have a chance to sign up for the closed alpha for For Honor. Go to forhonorgame.com. The closed alpha starts in just under 2 weeks. Now I'm going to come over here. Fairlight Excalibur, will you stand up here and come over here and chat with me real quick? Was a bit of a chase down at the end there as your team forced the other guys into breaking.
We were trying to offer the last person standing a 1v1, but he kept trying to res people, so we had to keep smacking him until he stopped.
And the last person standing, I believe, Lil Renene. Nicely done. Let me check in with her real quick here. An honorable move, though, offering the last player a one-on-one. Have you found that to be sort of common in your alpha experiences?
In the first alpha, it was very common that when the team that was losing was down to one person, instead of ganging up on them, the other 3 of your teammates would stand by and watch, and one person duels them. It basically gives them a last chance to stand up for their team. Inevitably, they usually die anyway, but it at least gives them a last stand, and I think that's really cool, and it fits the honor theme.
Absolutely. You try to help them die with some dignity.
Wouldn't go that far.
Lil Renene, you were frantically running around there. What was your hope that you were clinging to maybe just stay alive?
To stay alive.
Yeah, pretty much just, please don't put an axe in my face.
I was just sprinting and hoping that maybe if I ran long enough, they would get tired and then just leave me alone and then I would win. That was like my dream that didn't come true.
Sure, they just get tuckered out. They say, oh, she's just running laps. Let's just park it here and, I don't know, forget about her. Didn't work out that way.
My last resort was just throw myself off the edge, but I didn't know how to.
Talk about dying with dignity. All right, we'll get set up here for our second match. Team Knights versus Team Samurai.
So that was interesting. One or two of the things that came up during those post-match interviews, one of which was at the end of a match, oftentimes, and I've participated in a lot of our live events, we really do see that the community goes for the honor aspect of it. It'll be a 4-on-1, there'll be one left. Someone from the winning team will step forward and they'll really let them go one-on-one, hero to hero, to see if it can make a difference. And I've seen it personally on our floor. One remaining teammate was able to go through our team twice before he actually took him down. So one hero really can make a difference. So even though the points are out of play and you're somewhat destined, you can still fight for your pride and your honor as a hero.
I like that a lot. You just sort of, all right, you're gonna fight, you're gonna die that honorable death of fighting as opposed to maybe throwing yourself off the ledge, although that would be quicker and more dramatic.
Hey, maybe that's something that's unique to the Samurai. You never know, eh? Another point that was mentioned was the fact that it was kind of a rat race at the end of it. That's another point. Even though there's 4-on-1, communication was still key. So here we go for match 2. So here we have the Warden going right into the front. This is almost a bread and butter for this character. He can take out a lot of soldiers and really push his team to win the front off the bat. Oh, what a dodge. Well played, but you didn't get far enough. So here you can see the soldiers do play in the battle and they make a big difference in the fights. You can use them as a navigation tool or deterrent against the enemies. Here we have a 2-on-2 in Zone C. This is the zone closest to the attacker's spawn. So if the defenders take this, they're really going on the offensive and saying, we're going to win this battle.
All right, just a quick clarification for those of you folks watching at home. We've actually got Team Samurai, the victors of the first match, in orange this time around. They're the attackers. Sorry, they're in blue this time around. It says orange on the screen. They're actually blue. And Team Knight are the defenders in orange. And defenders in blue.
See, so there we had Raider trying to
just
run.
Confused everything even more. Let me just iron it out, Jeff. Team Samurai is blue. Team Knight is orange.
We'll go with that. Team Knight is the blue, and Team Samurai are the orange.
I peeked at their screens, and these guys are playing on the blue side.
Either way, we'll go with attacker defender. So here we have it. The defenders are currently winning the battle.
And they've got those 2 points. And now we watch a Raider trying to make a move on one of those points.
So while we watch these guys get used to the art of battle and the intricacies of each hero, those of you out at home watching with a keen eye will notice this is no longer a samurai map. Here we are in one of the Knight maps. You'll notice a difference right away. The infrastructure, the size, the epic structures that they build, and the setup of the map is completely different.
And we're going to see Team Blue going for those revives, having another player right back on the field with you. As anyone who's played a multiplayer competitive game with reviving knows, so powerful.
Yeah, man, the ability to skip respawn really helps you make a difference. But on the flip side of that, we wanted a way for you to ensure that that couldn't happen and that a hero that you fell has to sit through the respawn. That's where execution becomes important. Because both on revive and on the execution, you're initiating an animation that leaves you open to attack. So you really have to consider whether you want to follow through. Executing an enemy not only means they have to respawn, they take on a penalty, and it gives you a health buff or a health regen. So there's a benefit and a cost to everything.
The crowd really seems to like that knock him to the ground, knee him in the face move.
Yeah, the stun definitely has, its benefits, but when you're in a group fight, do you really want to initiate that, or do you want to use the space and wait for support? So here we have a female Raider doing her part in the lane, clearing through the soldiers, really working to push each front on behalf of the defender. So that's key. All three of these heroes that we're seeing today are Vanguard, as I said, kind of like the all-rounders. And all three heroes in all three factions are available in the male and female loadout variety. So you can really choose a hero and customize it to who you want to be in the battlefield.
And even here we see two male Raiders facing off, but they've got a different look to them. There is deep customization in terms of what your character's armor looks like, what sort of coloration and patterns you've got on there, the works.
Yeah, we work really hard. Our art director does a lot of work in ensuring that there's visual variety. As you can see, there's a decapitation. But the thing with the visual loadouts is that really you can make yourself prominent. So when the opposing team sees you coming, they know what they're in for. They can run and hide, group up, or really try to step up and take you one-on-one. So there is an example of the Kensai level 3 feat, the smoke bomb. That is a tool that allows you to evade outnumber fights or really just blur the battlefield for the opponent. See, so the Kensei right now is going into a part of the map that is narrow, that'll limit his opponents to attacking front on, keeping it one-on-one, even though he's outnumbered in a 3-on-1 fight.
Saw a little collision there on the ladder. The ladders are not, they are part of the battleground. Just because you're on a ladder doesn't mean someone's not coming to get you.
No, that is true. Ladders often provide alternate routes to high ground, but one of the keys to being around high ground and ledges are not only can you be thrown off the ledges, but enemies can attack from above, giving them a single hit kill, or as we like to call it, death from above. So you always have to be aware of your surroundings, both immediately, but also vertically.
Here we see the blue team, Team Samurai, pushing that center point, claiming the front.
And as you mentioned before in the last map, this is similar in Dominion mode. You're trying to breach or save your sanctuary, so we have the battering ram in the middle of the front. So here we can see that the attacker's own capture zone C, so while they sit in a zone, they get a health regen. It really pushes the idea of strategy and communication. We didn't want a roving horde of 4 heroes being able to win a match, so we strongly listened to the community feedback and came up with tweaks that would promote communication and collaboration on the battlefield, leveraging the spaces and the areas.
Looks like this Raider has activated one of his feats just as the team goes into breaking.
Yep, so here we go. It looks like they'll be able to rally immediately if they can capture Zone C, but it's all about not just capturing zones, but holding them, so you keep those points out of play. Zones A, B, and C are all worth 100 points when they belong to your team. But as soon as you lose them, the points go to the other team. So those are what we've coined as soft points. They're yours while you have the zone, but they can always be taken away. As opposed to hard points. Hard points are earned by killing heroes or boosting capture zones. Those points can never be taken away from your team. So here we are once again in breaking.
And once again, Team Samurai actually in blue this round, pushing Team Knight onto the ropes.
Yeah, and there we saw an execution, so that friendly cannot be revived unless the attackers can rally out of breaking. They are looking pretty close though, although if they lose Zone A, it's looking pretty close to being done. So here we can see the 3 feats that this Raider has gained. The third one is what we like to call internally Berserker. It gives you a speed and an offensive buff, because he's not the fastest of heroes, but with this feat, he really becomes a formidable opponent. So the attackers are definitely doing their part to win the points back, but here we go, using the soldiers as an advantage and using his feats.
He's got his back to the fire and is he gonna catch on fire?
Oh,
No.
here's another community feedback option. We listen to the community, and outnumber fights were almost near impossible to win. So this is what we call revenge mode. It makes your attacks uninterruptible, and it gives you an offensive and defensive buff. But sometimes it's just not enough, Chris.
Certainly not, and now we've got 1 attacker left.
And it's pretty easy to see by the faces who it is. It's a team captain on the attacker team. So here we go. There's a couple of options for the defenders. If they see enemies that are felled, they can protect the bodies to prevent revive. There was a sprint attack that ended it, Chris.
There it is, and that is another win for Team Samurai.
So as the defenders won, they're now burning the battering ram. They held off the attacker.
Quick post-game chat here with the victors. But before we do that, folks, we've got another chance for you to enter those little codes I was talking about earlier. We've got on forhonorgame.com a program called Join the Battle. It's a rewards program. You go there, you enter these codes, you get a chance to win For Honor gear and a chance to win that limited edition skinned PS4 I was talking about. We're going to throw up the code right there. I'm not sure at PAX what the internet situation is like. I see some folks taking pictures for later. That's a good move. But remember, when you go to forhonorgame.com to put in that code, you can register also for the closed alpha starting on September 15th. That could be you forcing the enemy into breaking. That could be you getting your head chopped off. I don't know. It goes either way depending on how you're doing it. All right, let's come over here And we're going to check in with Team Samurai. Fairlight Excalibur, I believe, once again, leading your team in takedowns. Is that correct?
I believe it was.
All right. You are a well-known badass here on the For Honor fields, but I want to talk to Man versus Game over here real quick. Man, how did that match go for you? Who were you finding yourself playing with the most success as?
Honestly, as I'm a fan of like the medieval fighting style, so I prefer the knight. Feels real good to just slice someone's head off with an execution move there. That's what I'm really going for every battle.
Yeah, the crowd likes that too. So you definitely you got their interests at heart. You're a man of the people.
That's right. I got that showmanship. You got to really, beat them down as best you can.
All right, for the next match, you're looking ahead. Are you making any strategic adjustments for your play in terms of what we're going to see from your team in the next round?
I think I have noticed now when my health is low, and so now I know to pull back and get back to one of our checkpoints that we have to heal up. I wasn't doing that before, so seemed to work out well last time. But so I'm going to try and do that again. That
healing is crucial. That'll hopefully keep you guys on your winning streak here. Team Samurai, let's come over here to Team Knight and Gassy Mexican. Now, you guys are kind of on the ropes here. How did that last match go for you?
Badly, Chris.
Yes, the outcome was not in your favor, but in every battle you have those moments, right, where you do that thing and you're like, yeah, I got it. What was your moment of the battle?
I didn't have too many moments, but here's the thing. Like, we came out, we got like a mild applause. They came out, got the applause, and they're also dominating. So like, usually there's the underdog. Like, we could use some of that support just a little bit.
There we go. You got a crowd buff now. You guys are boosted. And now you're ready to get into round 3 here in our best of 5 For Honor showdown here at the PAX West Arena.
So they spoke briefly there about how they've been beaten in both rounds, and so something that's important about the characters the heroes that they're playing is the ability to increase your renown and unlock feats, because feats can very much be the key to making a difference, especially when you're under the gun, so to say, and your team really needs something to turn around the flow of the battle. Feats are gained with renown, and they tie into the hero type that you're playing and how you work in the battle, so we'll talk more about that in the match.
Yeah, we caught a glimpse of the few of them, but let's keep an eye on those for the next match, because as you were mentioning, there's different ways to amplify the renown you're getting and really play that sort of the battle a little bit more tactically and adapt on the fly. We'll get into it once the next match starts up here. Team Knight versus Team Samurai. We're gonna see the crowd now giving a little boost to Team Knight. Our underdogs over there, hoping to see a few more matches, I think, here out of our best of 5.
I must say, Chris, I'm a knight at heart, man, so I'm with you guys. Come on, teamwork. You can do it, gang.
All right, plenty of support going Team Knight's way. And here we are on the Viking homeland, it seems.
Yeah, here we have Riverford, the Viking homeland of Valkenheim. It's snowy, it's brute, it's raw. They work with the landscape and they make what they need to meet their needs, and that's about it. So here we have a similar setup to Overwatch, where we can see Zone A looks out over the entire map. Controlling this zone can really give you the upper hand in controlling the battle.
Again, for those of you watching at home, to keep track of which color is which, just flip those names. And we got a roar from the crowd here after that. Ring out.
Yeah, so there we had a Raider use his throw ability to straight away take an enemy out of the capture zone and then go support a friendly and win the duel. This map is very much about using nature, so you'll see a lot of drops, a lot of ledges, and you really need to pay attention to the environment.
And that brutal execution was the handiwork of Fairlight Excalibur, working those stuns and working that unblockable combo.
Yeah, it's very much the key to that character. The unblockable combo, while it's not unblockable, it can be dodged, but at the same time, you need to be aware of what's around you and who's around you. Are you able to dodge? Where should you dodge? Is it making it riskier for you dodging close to a ledge? Should you just take the hit and focus on the defense? So we spoke before about feats. So all of the Vanguards, while they're tied to a faction and they're unique in their own way, Vanguards in general have 3 main kind of preferences to allow you to level up your renown and unlock your feats. And those are, in a nutshell, getting capture zones, getting to a zone and capturing it for your team. That'll give you renown points. There's also killing soldiers and reviving friendly. So keeping a thought or an eye on those 3 things will help you level up, gain renown, and have your feats to make a difference in the battle.
And we've got a lot of the teams gathered here on point A, battling it out. Still early in the match, so we're not seeing those level 2, level 3 feats yet, but certainly people making progress towards bringing those extra abilities into the fray.
Yeah, and another thing that we really haven't spoken about too much, but we just saw it there, is the need to control your stamina. The green bar underneath your health is your stamina. It tells you how much gas you have in the tank. If you're constantly dodging, you're going to run out of breath and be a really easy opponent to take out. Not only does stamina affect your mobility, it also means you're unable to put any chains together, which makes you much weaker as an offensive force.
Nice kill there by Tangent Gaming.
So overall, we haven't really been talking too much about the heroes, but throughout all 3 matches so far, we've had a good spread, Chris. We've had the Warden, both male and female. We've had the Raider and the Kensei. And I haven't noticed too much of a strategy yet with their loadouts, but we'll see how this game plays out, and maybe it'll affect how they play match 4 if we make it to that point. But right now, it's looking pretty good.
It looks like Team Knight has all 3 points captured. Again, just switch those colors, folks, and you'll be in tune with the action here.
So you can see right now the Raider, the first feat is a passive feat, meaning it's always active. Every soldier he kills gives him a health buff, but it also helps him gain further renown. So he's unlocked a morale booster, the 2nd feat. The 3rd is Berserker, and he's well on the way to the 4th feat. So on the flip side of that, here we have the Knight, also working in the lane because killing soldiers is a good way to increase your renown.
That pick up and carry move just does not get old. I love it.
Yeah, so here we have the opportunity to use high ground to take out the attacker in the capture zone, but I guess it wasn't needed.
It's that medieval chiropractor.
A Nodashi down the spine will kind of take care of you.
You'll be aligned, all right.
So here we have it again. You can see 2 attackers not on a capture zone and focusing a 2-on-1, but that didn't work to their advantage. Now it's flipped completely into a 2-on-1 in their disadvantage. So you really have to work to prioritize your threats. Last but not least, it's objective-based. The capture zones are key to winning the round. So we're pretty much back at honors even, so let's see how this plays out with 400 points, give or take, to put the other team into breaking.
This is one of those perilous points where you do have the chance to get knocked to a lower ground and then hit from above. You do have the chance to get thrown off the ledge, or you have the chance to just get a good old-fashioned 2-on-1.
Yeah, sometimes the sword's the best way to go, man. So here's a view of the map from the attacker side. Obviously, they're starting from outside of the sanctuary. They've reached the first gate, but they're still really trying to make it into the courtyard and the main structure of this Viking facility. Oh, he was so close, but just not close enough, Chris.
Kensei is going to make a nice saving roll to get back into more solid ground. Got to work that block, though, because that big Viking axe coming down.
So now if this Raider waits out his time, he can capture the zone and use this zone to regen his health and not die. Stay in the battle and work with his teammates.
Oh! Sent to the bottom.
The extra health really made no difference there, Chris. So here you can see 3 attackers. They're very much deciding to work as a group. Whether it works out point-wise, we'll wait and see. Right now they have 2 of the capture zones, but A is in flux and could quickly change.
Looks like we were going to maybe see an execution there, but now we are involved in a fierce battle here. And we see that the Raider attacking has all 4 feats at the ready.
Yeah, and here we see, oh, the Kensai had feats.
Didn't need the feats to put him onto the spikes, though.
So I don't want to sound like I'm repeating a lot, but Emil came out and we spoke about working with the community. One thing is now when you die, you do not lose your renown or your feats. So even if you aren't the best player on your team, by the end of the match, you could have full renown and have that level 4 feat to really make a difference. We really want it to be a balanced playing field. So here we have it. For the first time, the attackers have put the defenders into breaking. Can they hold it off? This attacker actually has a 4th level feat, which is a healing banner, which he can place and heal any of his friendlies within a certain radius.
One can easily see how that would change the tide of an engagement. Let's see if we see it in action.
Okay, so we've got 2 duels going on at A. And it's gone from 3-on-2 to 2-on-1 by the looks of all the crosses on the screen.
And it's the blue team.
Yeah.
Team Samurai trying to rally back. Looks like we've got Cobalt Streak there as the Raider. Ooh. And the orange Team Knight goes down. The defenders rally.
Yeah, so the defenders rallied there, but they're quickly back in breaking because instead of focusing on the capture zones, while they had the hero advantage, they all honed in on one hero, meaning that they didn't take those soft points back and bring them back on their side. Capture zones are all about soft points. Once you have them, you have to retain them. Otherwise, they're always in play. Oh, there we see it. So we have double breaking, but it's a 4-on-2. And all the soft points are still in play because they're only 50 to 20 points above the 1,000-point threshold, Chris.
So that certainly sifted the fate for Team Orange, no longer breaking. But
Nope.
the blue team.
Team Orange heeded the advice. They saw that there was a capture zone not being contested, A, and they went and took it. Now, essentially, there's no choice. Well played. There's no choice for the defenders to go out of breaking because there's only 300 points, soft points in play, and even if they lose them, they're still above a 1,000-point threshold.
And this is the blue team. Team Samurai on the ropes. Looks like Fairlight Excalibur, the last remaining Samurai, trying to make a run here, trying to stay alive.
There was a
We
death
almost
from
saw the
above
death from
advantage.
above.
But there you see communication, Chris. They took all 4 escape points and really tried to tie him down.
They are running him down. Everyone chasing him up the ladder, but he came back down and knocked one of them to the ground. He's on the point. He's on the ropes.
Oh, so there you have it.
And there it is. Looks like all those cheers did Team Knight well as they claim victory over Team Samurai to force this to a 4th round. Let's go check in with the teams. I'm gonna walk over here. Gotta talk to the captain, the victor here, Tangent Gaming. You guys really turned it around that time. Feeling good?
Feels awesome. Basically, for the first few matches, we weren't really paying attention to the 3rd objective, and so we're spending too much time. Fairlight is excellent at this game, as you guys have seen now so far, and he's able to just hold that 3rd objective. And so sometimes just we've been needing to actually split off and focus sometimes less on fighting and actually capturing some objectives.
Holding those objectives, getting those soft points, forcing you into breaking, forcing the other team into breaking. How did it feel to be on the winning side of breaking this time around?
Oh, it always feels good. It always feels good to actually win one every now and then.
All right, let's go check in with the team that was on the wrong side of breaking this time. I want to check in with Ammunition over here. And tell us about the hero you were playing most of the time that round.
I was playing the samurai for the entire time. So.
You're all samurai all the way. What do you like about the Kensei?
I really enjoyed his special attack with the 3-hit combo when you come down over the top and they can't block it. The first 2 rounds I played the Viking though, so it was a little bit of a switch up for me, and I'm gonna count that as why we lost that round.
Okay, you didn't go with your strong suit, the Raider. So for the next round, you gonna stick with the Kensei, or are you going back to your big Raider?
You know, I like to win, so I'm gonna go back to the Viking. Yeah.
All right, we'll see if that changes the fate here for Team Samurai as they face off against Team Knight in round 4 of our best of 5 PAX West Gauntlet here. While you folks are waiting, why not, hey, go to forerunnergame.com, register for the alpha. Chance to get in there, play for yourself, see what it's like to be on both sides of breaking. I know which side I prefer to be on, Jeff.
Well, that was pretty interesting. I was really impressed by what Ammunition said there, because while this is a 4v4 online multiplayer melee combat game, every hero makes a difference. And there you can see that the change to the Kensei that is more, fluidity and chain-based really made her feel like that she kind of didn't pull her weight in a battle. And that one hero can make a difference because you've got to control 3 zones and you only have 4 heroes. So you got to pick and choose both your hero loadouts, but your communication and your play styles.
We've seen the power of what one strong hero can do, even in outnumbered situations. Lots of different tools there to sort of marshal between, evading and using the environment, using the revenge to sort of strike with unblockable strikes, to using your feats. There's a lot of tools in the Warriors toolbox.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of deeper move sets. We took a lot of time focusing in our fight mechanics and the variation of it between the heroes and how they use their weapons. Like we said, every weapon's unique, so the animations and the chains are different. Do you go from left, right, top, or is it simply all top, light, light, heavy? There's a lot of variation, and that really changes the setup. But Chris, it looks like we're back in game, so should we get to it? We're back here at the Samurai theme map in the mire. As you can see, it's raining, and right off the bat, the attackers are going to push through the lane by the looks of it.
Is it just me, or does that carry get longer every time we see it?
It all depends about where they are, but yeah, it definitely has some range.
Okay, and again, we've got the color swapped, so Team Knight is in orange, Team Samurai in blue, and ooh, one of those nasty Nodachi executions right there.
Yeah, so executions progress as you progress as a hero and increase your renown, but that was a variation of it, and they're all pretty badass, and they also play into the gameplay like we said. That hero can no longer be revived, and now he's free to go use his enormous Nodachi to make a difference in the front.
You ever feel bad for those foot soldiers facing off against the Nodachi, the Raider Axe, and all that?
Yeah, they really have no choice. And not just that, the presence of these heroes in the front really boosts the morale of their soldiers, who will really go on the offensive and come like a tide.
And speaking from experience, you can focus on an enemy hero inside that front, but if they've got a bunch of their warrior minions around them, that's going to really cause a problem for you in terms of mobility, in terms of chipping away at your health. It definitely is something to contend with.
Yeah, man, it's like trying to have a fight surrounded by 10 5-year-olds. One-on-one, they don't do much, man, but a group of them will slowly wear you down. So not only do they affect your health, but like you said, your navigation. And up against someone like the Kensei, you need to be aware of your surroundings. So they've definitely taken a focus onto the decapitations or executions. Thanks for that, Chris. So they're really going for a focus of taking out the heroes, not allowing them to be revived, because don't forget, that gives their friendly renown and helps them level up. So that's taken one of their core progressions away from them throughout the match. So here we're boosting the zone, we're getting hard points, and we're generating our health. Seems like the attackers are definitely trying to egg the defenders away from the zone so they can get them in duels and hopefully, take them one-on-one. We'll see how that plays out though, because the defenders are definitely managing the battlefield better right now.
Nice kill there by Cobalt Shriek.
Here we have the crowd getting into it. Come on, guys, you can cheer them on. Don't be shy.
Every time. So
nasty. Here you can see, man, the defenders have all 3 capture zones, and they're very much going on the offensive. This is the first bridge outside of the attacker zone, so we're right on their doorstep.
And that is that gut-slicing Kensei execution by Team Samurai. Really putting Team Knight on their back foot here with all 3 points.
Yeah, so here you can see this Kensei is at a key navigation point. He was controlling the bridge. It was the only real access point to Zone A for the attackers. Although as soon as I mentioned it, they gave it up, so we'll wait and see what happens.
That's how quickly the battlefield shifts, Spicer.
So here we are back in the lane. We've got a 3-on-1, but you can see the attackers very much using his soldiers to help with navigation and defense.
Tangent Gaming here with 2 of his feats. Ooh, a nice dodge there of that powerful strike coming in by the Kensei.
And the key here is even though so there's revenge. That's what I was talking about, your ability to get the upper hand in the fight that you're not doing so well in. So now his attacks are uninterruptible. He's got an offensive and defensive buff.
Some great blocking there by the Kensei. They are both on the ropes here. Let's hear it, folks. Who's going to come out on top in this one-on-one duel? It's the Kensei.
The Kensei is very much a samurai. It's about finesse, movement, and fluidity. You saw there great use of the chains going from left, right, top. That top is actually unblockable, so the only choice is to dodge. But as you saw, they didn't do it in time, and they fell pretty quickly. So now it looks like the attackers are taking the group approach, and hopefully as a team they can last a little longer and get some zones back.
Well, I don't know. This Team Knight member is heading over to B to try to tip the scales here.
So once again, you can see the passive feat. Every soldier that this warden kills, they're getting a +1 hard point and a health regen. Here's a quick shot of the scoreboard. So the defenders have 100 points that they own due to Zone C, but irrelevant to that, they're almost at 800 hard points. So they're a couple kills away from pushing the attackers into breaking.
And there it is. And a quick rally by Team Knight to stay in the game.
So you'll notice now at this capture zone, the additional trapdoors have opened, so it's a much smaller fight space, and it's that much more dangerous, especially when you're against a knight with the range of that carry throw. So that's 1 attacker down, there's 3 left, and they better move quickly to get those zones if they want to bring their friendly back, Chris.
We're watching Fairlight Excalibur here. Gonna make a move to try to take this back. It's a 2-on-2. It's close to the edge. Manages to get a little space, but he is in the bin, courtesy of Co-Carnage.
So there we go. We're back into breaking again.
And that is Team Knight in orange breaking. Team Blue, Samurai, trying to push their advantage.
So let's see what strategy we're going to go for with the attackers here, Chris. We see 1 running back to spawn. His friendlies are currently not on the map. So it looks like they're down either in the lane or near A. Are they going to group up, or are they going to go for the soft points of the capture zone?
And this is Lil Renee finding herself in a tight spot, once again pursued. Ooh, just dodges that strike everywhere she turns. There's a samurai waiting for her, but now her teammate comes to help alleviate things, and it's... Oh, no!
There you have a friendly taking a friend into the pit, guys. You got to be aware of what's going on, but it shows you just how quickly it can change. So we're down to 1. We're over 1,300 points. This is the last stand for the attackers, and there you have it, guys.
That is it. Team Samurai, your victors here in the PAX West For Honor Gauntlet. Let's go check in. First, we're going to go over here and console Team Knight, see how they did. Tangent Gaming, you guys fought valiantly that round, saw some nice moves. At the end of this all, what do you come away with feeling like, man, I cannot wait to do that again in For Honor?
It's really hard to describe, but the best way I can say it is that, especially when doing the 1v1 duels, there's just this certain intense feeling. It just feels like fight or flight instinct kicks in. It just really gets the adrenaline pumping. It's just the most visceral dueling system I've seen in gaming so far.
We'll be seeing Tangent Gaming in the closed alpha, no doubt. For a chance to join him, go to forhonor.com. Starts on September 15th. Carnage, I called out your name a few times during that match. You had a couple plays there.
It was a lot of fun. What's really cool is I swear every round I saw a new move or something I hadn't thought of before, or just kind of going down the lines. And that was the first round I finally kicked some people off the side. Super excited about that.
That's a really good feeling, isn't it?
Oh yes, absolutely. Looking forward to playing this with subs and other streamers. It's gonna be a lot.
Who's your favorite warrior that you ended up playing as?
Definitely the samurai. I know that I definitely have not seen what they all have to offer, but for what I was doing, the samurai was definitely a lot of fun.
All right, congratulations. Consolations, I suppose, more accurately. The congratulations I'm going to lay on over in this side. Team Samurai, headed up by Fairlight Excalibur. Congratulations, my man. You done did it.
We did, and it's thanks to these guys.
Speaking of Samurai, we got your mascot here. And we've got some incredible costumed warriors up here to sort of shower you in the glory of their proximity. They look hella cool. There it is, Fairlight Excalibur and Team Samurai, the victors here at the PAX West For Honor Showdown, and you'll be sure to see them in the closed alpha as well. All right, let's get one more round of applause for all of our competitors up here. Go Carnage, Gassy Mexican, Lil Renee, Tangent Gaming, Fairlight Excalibur, Man vs. Game Ammunition, and Cobalt Street.